Michael Aston here from Now Spinning Magazine with another album review. I could say it's a box set review, but it's not technically a box set. It's kind of a super fast digi pack, really. But the band is superb. It is Vicious Rumours. And I am from that time. When I was around at that time, I was in my 20s in the 80s. And there were so many bands that had a certain look about them. I think we got to about 1983, 84, and there was that flood of Dockens and Rats and all those bands, Bon Jovi's, etc. And then as we entered towards the end of the 80s, plus we had all the thrash stuff kind of coming up around it, there was just a flux of bands that had a similar look and sound. The problem was, for people like me, and there wasn't, I didn't have MTV at that time, and there was no YouTube. The music press and Kerrang and Metal Hammer were just full of all this stuff, and there was only so much money to go around, so I had to pick and choose. I'll give that a listen, I'll give that a listen. And some things just passed me by. And this is towards the tail end of the 80s. Now, Vicious Rumours had been going for a while before this set, which brings together their Atlantic Records period, which is just literally 3 albums. But it was my eldest son, Dan, who obviously decades later, he was born in 93, who started to go back and listen to rock music and obviously pick out the things that his dad had missed, that he discovered this band. And he's been going on about them for ages. And Dan is a writer himself now. And the review for this album is already on the Now Spinning website, written by Dan. He just loves them. And I've been listening to this non-stop, absolutely non-stop. They came out of the Bay Area, the same bands like Testament and the real hardcore thrash bands. They weren't like that, but equally they weren't one of these image heavy pop metal bands either. There's a feeling back then that you were either in one silo or another, and and each band will look over the top of the silo at each other. So if you're a pop metal, glam, heavy hair metal band, and there was others, these kind of really stud ridden kind of thrash bands on the other side, they were kind of different camps. And that's what makes this band so different, because they had a foot in both. So I don't think the phrase power metal was really being used in the 80s. It started to be used in the 90s as we moved towards kind of like prog metal and and the thrash and everything. And Vicious Rumours really were either in the best place at the best time or the worst place at the worst time. They are still going, but anyway, I'm just going to show you a quick look through the package and then I'll sum up at the end. Vicious Rumours, The Atlantic Years. It's described as a box set, but it's really a digipack that folds out into 3 panels. Well, 4 panels, isn't it, really? You've got the 3 albums, the 2 studio albums and the live one, and then a picture of the band on the first inside panel. The credits, etc., on the first fold out, and on the back, the track listing. It does come with a great booklet, and I'm saying it's a great booklet because the band are involved, and so you've got a really good background story, and it's a story where they don't hold back. It's not like everything was fantastic and wonderful. It's just nuts and bolts, warts and all story about a band that was, you could say, in the right place at the right time or the wrong place at the right time, depending on how you view this. But this is, and I'll sum up more at the end of this video, but this is a great booklet, lots of great photographs, fantastic essay, as I say, involving the band, and lots of detail, great pictures, and the full story about their rise. I'm not going to say fall, because it wasn't a fall, it was just a change, really, that what happened to them. But the fact is the band are still going now. They're going to be touring in 2023, and this is just superb. So, Vicious Rumours. I'm going to read a little bit from from what Dan has written about them on the Now Spinning website, because I think this really pulls it together. And this is especially true of the first album on here, the first album just called Vicious Rumours. And he says the term masterpiece is all too often used when discussing solid records, but there can be no other word for the band's self-titled debut with Atlantic. Unleashed in 1990, Vicious Rumours is a tour de force of melodic heavy metal. Subgenres such as power metal, speed metal and thrash are commonly associated with the band, but the album is far too fresh to be pigeonholed. It's totally true. It is totally true. I've been, as I said before I showed you it, I've been playing this really, really loads. I mean, there's tracks like, Electric Twilight, which is like so gentle and so, it's very Zeppelinish or almost Tullish in places. And you've got other tracks like Ship of Fools, which is like really melodic, emotional rock music. And then you've got full-on thrash stuff as well, you know, with really hard double bass drums and everything. It just is fantastic. As Dan says here, don't wait for me, bolts out of the gates. The thunderous opener with glistens with the band's unique blend of aggression, melody and technical prowess. It's very true. An impeccable production courtesy of Michael Rosen, very true, allows the allure of each member to shine. And while it has powerhouse drums, the tasteful dual guitar gymnastics of Jeff Thorpe. What a guitarist is Jeff Thorpe, sorry. And we're really hoping we're going to interview him on the Now Spinning magazine podcast as well. Oh, what a player. Mark Gee and Dave Starr's Fossil bass, and the jewel in the crown for this band at that time was Carl Albert. What a vocalist. Very Jeff Tate-ish from Queensryche. There is similarities between Queensryche and this band, but when I say that, if you've gone there in your mind, dial it back, because they are Vicious Rumours. There are elements of that. Who knows who was listening to who? But Carl Albert was a fantastic vocalist. Unfortunately, he died in a car crash in the mid-90s. But the band obviously were heartbroken. They were just so together. And as the booklet in here just talks with such passion of how they pulled this together. And it really, really is a shame. And you know, the album, the tracks, and there's a live concert which brings out both two albums together. They came out. Atlantic Records gave them all that push, and then behind the scenes, Nirvana were releasing Nevermind, and the world of rock music was looking very troubled and jaded. And Atlantic Records got cold feet and suddenly looked at this band and must have thought, that doesn't look so fashionable anymore. And so it all came crashing to an end with Atlantic. But it didn't end for Vicious Rumours, who've been treading the boards ever since. And in fact, they're on tour in 2023. They're still doing it. And I think, you know, that's what great reading the booklet in here. They see this as a part of their life, of their career. They're not bitter or twisted. It's just part of what they were doing at the time. And it's just wonderful stuff to read. And this, if you're into rock music and guitars and metal, and you're thinking, Vicious Rumours, that's new to me, you will like this. You will like this. This isn't what you might expect. It's intelligent, immaculately played, immaculately produced, and very, very exciting. Word of warning, if you drive and you have this on loud, you must make sure you abide to the speed limit of the country of which you are driving in. It is not my responsibility to make sure you stay safe while you're doing that, because this will push your accelerator pedal down to the floor. Seriously, it really is good. It's great to cook to. It's great to exercise to. It's just good. But again, it's from Cherry Red, and it's wonderful that they cover so many different genres, and I cover so many different genres on this channel. But you know, if you're in the metal mood, Vicious Rumours, the Atlantic Years, you know it makes sense. So thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing and sharing my videos and visiting the website and wherever you may turn up, and ring that little notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Thank you to Yogi, Chris, Andy and Clive and all my patrons. Welcome aboard. Stay safe, keep spinning those records, and I shall see you on my next video.